Hello everybody, I'm Sam.
And I'm Walter.
And today we'll be talking about Unit 5, a one-leg trek across a continent. So, for today's preview, we'll be talking about a man named Yesley Aranda. So, he was unfortunately involved in a head-on collision with another vehicle.
Right.
So, he had an amputation on one of his legs.
Right.
So, from that day on, he's been wearing a prosthesis. Amputation.
Amputation.
Prosthesis.
Prosthesis.
And he took part in, well, a trek across a whole continent.
Right.
So we usually think our problems are insurmountable, but I think compared to, well, Mr. Aranda,
Yes.
they might seem a little bit trivial. Insurmountable.
Insurmountable.
Walter, I do want to ask you, what is one of the most challenging things you've ever done?
One of the most physically challenging things I've ever done, I guess, is a big hike. It was kind of like a camping hiking situation when I was in school. It was a 2-night, 3-day trek in the mountains. It was a lot of fun, but in regards to actually the physical aspect of it, it was extremely tiring, and I didn't shower for 2 or 3 days because it was in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So like mixed with like teenage boys and girls not showering for a week and walking up and down mountains, it was pretty difficult. How about you? What is the most challenging thing you've ever done?
Mine was a bit different. Oh God, that's really tough. Physically challenging, I want to say, is when I went to Africa, and I had a trek across Kenya. But that was in severe heat conditions.
Right.
It really felt like some kind of odyssey across the country. Odyssey.
Odyssey.
But that was great. It was such a great experience. Met people from all different walks of life.
Right.
But actually, while I was there was somebody disabled, not doing the trek.
Yeah.
But one of the leaders, he was actually disabled, who talked to us before we actually went on the trip. Which kind of brings me to the question, who are some famous disabled people that you know of?
Well, the first one that pops to mind is Stephen Hawking.
Right.
Who passed away a couple of years ago, I believe. Obviously, he was the man, the genius of all geniuses. So, which just is amazing to think that a person who was so incredibly smart was riddled with a very severe disability.
Right.
It's just absolutely amazing that that happened for him. How about you? Do you know anyone who is disabled at all?
So I know somebody, it's actually a mental disability. That's Michael J. Fox. If any of you have watched Back to the Future.
Yeah.
He was the main star of that movie, that movie series. But he has Parkinson's,
Right.
which starts as a mental condition, but then it ends up affecting your mobility.
Right.
So I do believe they're still trying to find a cure, but that's something that eventually really affects your mobility.
Right. He does. I think he can't control his shaking, or he has trouble like staying still, I believe. So there's a lot more factors involved as well. I think it is a lot to do with the mental ability as well, but it's a horrible disease.
Right. So it varies from physical to mental, and sometimes even both. So that's it for the preview of today, and now we'll be going on to the review.